Good morning. Welcome to Thursday with me, Kyle, your host of Thursday. I have a coffee. I'm waiting on Allison. This is our new time of 9 o'clock. We're still doing that this week. I think it's gonna work out better, so we'll probably end up doing that still moving forward. So hopefully that doesn't exclude too many of you, or anyone preferably, from watching. But yeah. How's everybody doing? How you doing on this Thursday? It's December the 10th, getting closer to Christmas, getting closer to quarantine Christmas. We're just working on videos and stuff over here. Sounds like Allison's getting ready. Also, yes, there was brewing sounds. We got coffee going in the background this time. Andrew Rosine says Cyberpunk 2077 looks really good. I should hope so. Hey, it's Ricky. Ricky likes to. Oh yeah, I updated the border so it's Christmas themed. That's what we did for the holidays. I also got us a copy of Cyberpunk. I think I'm gonna have Allison start playing. This is what I do. My job is now I assign people to play video games for me because I don't have time. So Allison's gonna do that, and we're gonna see if anything jumps out for an actual sketch. I think John's also playing. John had it pre-ordered. Like many of you, John had it pre-ordered for the last 6 years or however long it's been. Kodiak Brown asked, "Did you guys watch the SpaceX Starship launch?" No, I didn't know there was another one happening. Actually, was that just yesterday or this week? And where were they going? I assume space. Morning.
Morning.
How you doing?
You have no chill.
What do you mean?
Couldn't just wait for me.
No. It's 9. 9 start time.
Shut up.
Mr. Hat says the game has quite a few graphical bugs, but it's still cool. Yes, I saw Reddit last night. Everyone made the graphical bugs very clear. Ricky says John was up till 4:30 playing Cyberpunk.
That makes sense.
It's on your computer. I installed it already.
Great. This is good. We were gonna do a photo shoot today, but I have to do my hair. I have to do a whole day thing with my hair.
Oh, okay.
So I'll do my hair and play Cyberpunk.
I will spend the day making a hobo Christmas ad.
Is this the boob glitch?
I saw mostly genitals, but there were also, it was just bodies clipping through clothing.
They made genitals?
Yes.
Underneath the clothing?
This was a whole meme for a while. You get to, not only did they make them, you get to customize them in the character creator.
You get to customize your genitals?
Yep, that's been the joke for the last 3 months. It's not a joke, it's a real thing. It's just people have been joking about it for the last 3 months.
What is the point of this?
I don't know. We're gonna find out.
Ew. It can't be anything good. It literally cannot be anything good. It cannot be valuable.
No.
Oh, lovely. Maybe they just knew... they just knew who they were aiming for.
I guess so. Yeah, I'm gonna do a.
Oh, looks like autumn's here today.
Hey, it's autumn. Hey, what is that? What is that tone about?
This hasn't been here for 5 shows.
Elferlight says that means Hanukkah will be over 8 days from now. I actually don't
know anything about Hanukkah.
I feel like I like TV shows, like kids' cartoons and stuff that I used to watch used to bring up Hanukkah more often than my life does now. So I actually haven't thought about it in a very long time.
That's because
I just don't have anything. It doesn't exist anywhere around me.
I think it's because people who celebrate Hanukkah generally aren't trained to just force people to understand.
It's true. There aren't Hanukkah ads.
The holiday. I mean, they're just not weird about it like Christmas people are.
Right.
They're just
if somebody doesn't say Hanukkah, they don't decide there's a war on Hanukkah, and then they're really fit about it on TV.
They just, people who celebrate Hanukkah just tend to enjoy celebrating Hanukkah and don't feel like they have to shove it and all of its traditions down your damn throat. This morning is really about mind control for me.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I read a lot of stuff that was conveniently. I think I ended up on conspiracy TikTok a little bit, which my bad.
Let's do mind control, but Christmas themed.
I don't have anything.
We'll just say Christmas things occasionally, just to remind people that it's Christmas, but also we're still complaining.
Is it Christmas time now?
Yes, that's why we have Christmas border on the stream.
Bells. What's the best Christmas song?
They're all bad, but
I'm not gonna lie. Baby It's Cold Outside is the best
probably
sounding
up there.
Christmas song.
Yeah.
Without fail. It's maybe not the best Christmas song, but it sounds so good, and the harmonies.
There's one good one you like, but
duet.
There's one good one that you liked, but like a couple years ago they played it non-stop, like specifically that song on the radio, and it wore me down on it.
What song was that?
I don't remember. There's one that you really liked, and it came on, and I was like,
Yeah,
that is a really good
that
song. But then it kept playing like
Last Christmas I gave you
right,
my
yeah,
heart,
like that
but
one
the
by
very
itself is good,
next
but
day-
I've heard it like 2,000 times.
That's one
now.
of the best Christmas songs. I love that Christmas song. That is a good Christmas song. Also, I just saw something. It said,
Hey, it's Matt.
"What?
Matt, why
is every-
You're finally awake. Oh wait, because we're
admin-
late.
Yeah, because
we're starting late.
Wandering Wig Malary says, "Guys, I'm back. I finally got a new phone, and now the stream doesn't freeze every 3 seconds. I can finally hang out with y'all. I'm so excited.
Welcome
I wondered
back.
where she went.
Maybe Matt can be back on the
We were
show
like-
now that we're getting up at 9.
We were like 1 or 2 more weeks away from me messaging her and being like, "Where the fuck you go?"
Really?
Yeah, I mean, some people just get busy with life, or they just hate the stream. So, Matt, what did Matt say about his
Holy
song?
Night is the best. That's what he said.
This Christmas is the best. Is that what I was just singing? No,
Yeah.
that's Last Christmas. Like, yeah. I don't know what this Christmas is.
Maybe it's the same. one
Ricky
as
says
another.
there's even anti-capitalist Christmas songs. Which one is that one? Last Christmas is good. Baby It's Cold Outside is good. I don't
Yeah.
think they condone capitalism.
I can make Matt a mod so you can keep track of him better, but he's not going to do anything.
Yeah. That's purely just for organization.
There you go. Now you can see Matt's name clearer.
So what is the best Christmas song?
I think the ones you mentioned probably. I don't make a habit of thinking about Christmas songs.
The real question is everyone's mom's favorite Christmas song Jingle Bell Rock? Is it?
That one is that's the best like end of movie Christmas song. I've got that one's in Yoda's Christmas also. It's actually why it's not monetized in Germany.
Alien says,
So-
my favorite Christmas song is Santa Claus is Gutting You Down. Is that Weird Al? Sounds like Weird Al.
I think there is a Weird Al song about Santa Claus
Santa
murdering
Claus-
a bunch of elves.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the title or if that's a different one.
Santa went crazy.
Right, that's
That
what
night Santa went insane. That's a great song.
That's a pretty good one.
Isn't there also Christmas at Ground Zero?
Is there?
There's something at Ground
look,
Zero.
I already Christmas songs they feel like the least good parts of. I like Christmas. I'm still a sucker for like the Christmas magic feeling. Christmas songs are definitely on the edge of that for me, where like it feels like the commercialism part of it like harder than other things. The one thing I cannot stand is like intentionally depressing, pull at your heartstrings Christmas songs. I hate that crap. It feels so cheap to me. It's like the cheapest, like, yeah, I'm
What
gonna
Christmas
get you, I'm
song
gonna
is
get
this?
you. Well, I don't, you just said Christmas at Ground Zero. I don't know what that is. I would
It's a
assume
Weird Al
that-
song.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Have you heard the one about like the go-to example is the one about like the child buying shoes for his dying mom or something that they decided to make a Christmas song out of for some reason?
Oh. Jeez.
There's like multiple like sad Christmas songs. I can't stand those. That's just it's such a like cheap marketing garbage, like obviously fake intentional trying to get an emotional rise out of you kind of thing. It's like the opposite of art. I hate it so much.
Yeah.
It bothers me every time it comes on.
I think that's a pretty decent opinion to have. People are listing some Christmas songs. Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. Is it an actual song or is it just that one line?
It is a song. like I don't know. It was like a novelty. I mean, there's a lot of... The weird thing about Christmas songs is that people make novelty comedy songs and then they turn into traditional Christmas songs.
Yeah.
People just keep playing them every year.
Idina Menzel and Michael Bublé did Baby It's Cold Outside. It's probably my favorite.
Ooh, wow.
Probably one of my favorite ones.
That's gonna sound great.
It really does. And then the music video for it is really cute because it's like children that like meet each other in a hotel and they think they're cute.
Okay.
Children.
Like I know people go back and forth
Children that are
on
old
whether or
enough
not
to have crushes on other children. What is that, like 10, 12?
I can't tell the difference between like a 5-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 13-year-old, honestly, so I don't know.
Well, what's weird to me is it's like 5-year-olds look young, 10-year-olds look young, 12-year-olds look young, and then like 15-year-olds look older than me now. So like the second they can put on makeup, I'm like, It's
just like Sims. There is infant, there is child, there is teenager, and then there is adult. And those are the ages.
Yeah. Autumn says Christmas is a novelty in and of itself. Wasn't Christmas the one that was like definitely stolen from the pagans?
Nothing is. Christmas is. All of it's stolen from the.
Alright, yeah, okay. None
of it's stolen from what it's. All Christian holidays are co-opted from other cultures that the Roman Empire took over. Is basically what it is.
Princess
it's basically
says,
just like the holiday already existed, and they were like, this belongs to Jesus now, and now we still celebrate it.
Hey. Princess says, confused sounds in not celebrating Christmas. I'd like to hear what that sounds like.
Are you able to not know what we're talking about, even despite not celebrating Christmas yourself? Like, are you able to avoid it? Because that's impressive to me, actually. Because I could go, I'm not celebrating Christmas, but I'm not going to not see it everywhere.
Orange Man says, what do you guys think of the lines after Jingle Bells Batman Smells?
Oh, like which ones are the proper lines?
What? This is up for debate?
I heard different versions.
Wait, how does it go then?
Throughout school. It's supposed to be Robin lays an egg, right? Because it's like
what I
Robin like a
remember.
bird.
Yeah.
This is funny.
Did Family Guy write that?
No.
What is that song? I wasn't asking seriously. I meant, like, did Seth MacFarlane write that song? Because why does it exist?
Oh, I see. I don't know. It's just one of those things that kids do and then pass along. Actually, it's kind of interesting. Isn't it kind of weird that, like, even pre-internet, there was like a kid-only culture where, like, kids would come up with things themselves and somehow it would pass around, like, the country, like, between children, but, like, only between children.
Yeah.
Like, kids would come with a stupid song and they'd sing it to their friends, and then those friends would talk to other friends and it would, like, spread. It's like memes, but only within, like school kids and before the internet existed. I just think it's kind of interesting, I guess. I don't know. That, like, kids could communicate with other kids across the country by accident, sort of, by just coming up with, like, stupid, parody songs and then spreading them around.
Yeah. Sorry. I don't know what anyone's talking about.
Did you just blank out for a little bit there?
Yeah. That was a yawn that took me somewhere else. Anyway, mind control.
Okay, what? What? What about mind control?
Okay, what? What do you want to do today? So on the top of today I learned right now, there is a thing about Edgar Allan Poe, who was like, he was
depressing and liked birds.
Does he like birds? I was never totally sure where that came. Well, doesn't he? The raven. I don't think it's like about the bird.
No, it's probably not.
I think the bird is a symbol. It says, today I learned Edgar Allan Poe died mysteriously after having been missing for 6 days. Though still alive when he was finally found, he was wearing someone else's cheap clothes and not coherent enough to tell where he'd been. He disappeared en route to his own wedding.
Oh. That's weird.
Yeah.
Maybe he just had, like, the ultimate, like, groom freak out and then just never came back from it.
Yeah. Is that
related to mind control?
Yeah, so there was an actual thing back then called cooping. Have you heard of it?
No.
It was a voter fraud scheme where they would basically just kidnap people, drug them, and, like, force them, and, like, torture them and stuff, and then, like, force them to vote over and over and over again for the same person. and like return them to society, or I
If
guess
you could
kill
vote
them.
over and over again for the same person, why would you get somebody else to do that for you? Just do it yourself.
I don't know. I don't know if the government did it or who was like supposedly in charge of it, but it was a real thing. They just kidnapped people and then forced them to vote for who they wanted them to vote for by like beating them and stuff.
Where did this happen? I thought Edgar Allan Poe was English, but maybe it's just because of the name and the face. Was he American?
I actually have no idea. Never occurred to me. He must be American. He's such a big part of American culture.
Well, he's part of Western culture. I don't know if he's from the U.S.
Yeah.
Tell me more about this weird kidnapping
It says, cooping, a common practice at the time in which Baltimore's notorious corrupt politicians paid thugs to...
That's America.
Yeah. Paid thugs to kidnap down-and-out men, especially the homeless. The victims were drugged, disguised, and forced to vote over and over at different polling places for the chosen candidates, then left for dead. Supporters of the cooping theory point to Poe's unfamiliar and ill-fitting clothes, as well as the fact that the citywide elections were held in Baltimore the day he was found. The Irish pub nearby functioned as both a bar and a voting station. And to be fair, cooping wasn't a theory. They think it was a theory for how Poe died.
It was a thing that was confirmed to have been happening to other people.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So it's not really mind control much as it is just like holding, like, I don't know, just like manipulation, I guess. Like,
yeah.
I thought you were going to talk about the Stranger Things
I was
stuff.
about to. It reminded me of the I was on TikTok and this girl was like she was talking about how 11 from Stranger Things' life was based on a true story, sort of.
They had and
I was like,
suspicions on things the government was doing at the time.
Right. I was like, what? And it's supposedly about the MK Ultra project that existed in 1950s to supposedly 1970s, where it was ended. Where they basically just, did the same thing, kidnapped people and then, like, fed them LSD every single day and, like, tortured them and shit in an attempt to figure out if they would, like, develop psychic abilities.
Yeah.
That was, like,
lots
the
of
whole
weird
point.
stuff like that. Like, lots of weird government and military programs to
Doesn't it sort of seem
test.
like, I mean, not to be, like, this person, but 11 is psychic. So, like, doesn't it give them a little too much credit if it worked?
What do you mean?
Well, it worked. 11 is psychic from the experience,
show.
right?
Yeah.
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 Just seems a little,
I mean, that's what makes the show interesting. But it was based off of stuff that they actually did. I remembered you and I found the actual pitch document for the show back when we were doing Skyvault stuff. Mm-hmm. And it was originally based much... Well, the show used to be called Montauk. It was based off of the stuff they did in Montauk, New York, which was the things that the government did were very similar to what they did in the show. Obviously, they were not as successful as what happened in the show. But yeah, there were lots of weird stuff that I get, like, from starting back in all the way back World War I and II through, like, the U.S. government did all kinds of weird stuff to, like, test out supernatural abilities over the decades to, like, see if they were plausible. Yeah. There was one whole movie I never watched, but my favorite title ever. It was just called Men Who Stare at Goats. And I think Brad Pitt was in it or something, and it was just about soldiers during World War II during this weird experiment where they tried to just test to see if soldiers could be telekinetic or something. Yeah. By trying to get them to, like, I don't know, I guess control a goat with their mind. Like, it was bigger than that one plot point, but that was the name of the movie, so it's always stuck in my mind. But yeah, it's all kinds of weird. Men Who Stare at Goats is the name of the movie.
Yeah. I never actually watched that movie, but my family did. Grace says, I did once see a TV program where they used hypnosis to try to get a person to shoot Stephen Fry.
Oh, you showed me bits of that.
Yeah,
what's his name again?
Darren Brown. He's a very, very famous and very good hypnotist. Yeah. Who did a large experiment that took months to complete, where he got a guy who was willing, and essentially hypnotized him over a series of months to be programmed to do certain actions related to sounds and imagery that he saw. And the actual, like, shooting event was in a giant theater, and it wasn't, he I'm trying to remember. Did he actually train him to use the gun?
Like
in the process, did you train him to use
so.
the gun?
I don't know, because when you tried to show it to me, we couldn't find the whole thing. We just found highlight clips from YouTube. Yeah, so I didn't ever get. I would still love to watch the entire thing all the way through.
The special used to be on some streaming platform years ago.
Yeah.
So it must have been Netflix or something. I think it was like a channel thing, like a CBS.
And the person volunteered though, right? It wasn't like a random person they pulled off the street. They were like, I will allow you to hypnotize me into doing something.
Yes, he consented to everything he could consent to, and Stephen Fry was in on it.
Right.
But yeah, it was really, really
but
fascinating.
But the guy didn't remember trying to do it at the end of it, right? Like he was.
It took I think it took 3 to 6 months. And it was there was a series of things. He had to be triggered by smells, sights, and sounds. And then he had to, it was pretty freaking fast and simple. It happens so quickly, and it's so weird to watch. Because you can see this guy, go into the trance. And then he takes out the gun from underneath his seat that he knows is there because he's programmed to believe that he needs to do that at the sight of things.
Oh, he didn't bring it in with him. It was just there for him.
No, someone dropped it off. And so he just opens it, pulls out the gun,
that it was there,
and then just shoots. There's no hesitation, not even a little bit, if I remember correctly, because all the triggers happened at once, and he just pulls and then he just doesn't know what to do. It happened.
Because nothing happens afterwards.
And then I think he had to know to leave. It was really, really fascinating, and you can break down every single thing.
Yeah.
Because what it is,
it's making a sleeper agent, pretty much, in spy movies, where they're just you don't know that you're a secret agent that's been programmed into you.
It's a bunch of very small micro adjustments to his routines that cause him to do it. It's not just one giant you're gonna shoot a man.
Brains are weird.
And at no point did he actually think he was going to shoot a human. And even after he did it, I don't think he knew he shot a human.
So he volunteered, but he didn't know what he was volunteering for, if I remember right. He was just I'll be part of the experiment, but they didn't tell him what the ultimate goal was. Yeah.
Mm-mm. So he did sign up for hypnosis, so when people say, you can't just hypnotize anyone, that's true. He was very willing to sign up for whatever this was. And he was totally coherent when he was when he was out of the hypnosis stage. It was really, really great. Darren Brown is amazing, and everyone should go look him up because he teaches you so much about he taught me
social conditioning, basically, and it's interesting because he's basically, from what I've seen, it's this is the stuff that just kind of affects the way you act day to day, and I can show you how it works by forcing it into creating these situations yourself.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of I don't know if it was Darren Brown, but I saw one thing back in school where it was an experiment they did where they got a team of marketers, professional marketing team together to design a logo for something. Yeah. And they set up the path that they drove them to the building they were going to be working in, and they put stuff along the path intentionally to subliminally give them ideas. Yeah. And so then they got together, they left them for a few hours, they designed the logo, and then they came out showing them their logo that they already had. And it wasn't exactly the same, but there were a ton of similarities. Yeah. Because they took their logo and stuck it in a few places, and also stuck prominent parts of the logo. The logo had wings or something, so they had a big billboard with angel wings on it, different things like that along the road that they were driving along.
I hate that idea. It just removes the idea of original thought and stuff. So there are some skeptics, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No,
I just find hypnosis to be so not unbelievable. It's just one of the easiest concepts for me to grasp. The idea that your brain can be programmed to react to certain triggers is not even a little bit.
Well, again, you kind of have to be willing to do it. If you're if you know it's going to happen and you don't want it to, it doesn't usually. On a stage, a stage hypnotist. Yeah. They can only do it with people who volunteer and want to do it. Right. If you're kind of refusing to do it, it's not going to work. It's you have to be open to the suggestion to a degree. Yeah. And Ian says I missed it. There was one that we had one apparently come to our high school forever ago, and I wasn't there, and Ian got to watch somebody else do it, and said that it worked. Basically, it seems to work just as much as
Wait, Ian was
as it shows up.
hypnotized?
No, he wasn't, but he
Oh.
watched other people do it.
I
I haven't even seen anybody do it like in person, so I
Yeah.
haven't really gotten to see it outside of like YouTube
I was
videos.
hypnotized once, and then I was attempted to be hypnotized a second time, and it didn't work.
You did it as like a therapy thing, right?
I did it as a therapy thing. The first time was during cancer treatment, and it was to help me with different medications that I had to have, which would essentially just like, I was triggered to hear a certain word response that would take me
that's
to
right, yeah.
like a mental
To like
place.
calm you.
Yeah,
when it
that would
was-
like
yeah.
immediately calm me down. And then the second time was to get over my fear of bees, but to do so, she had to play the sound of bees in my headphones. And I was so horrified that I couldn't ever actually I couldn't get into the headspace that allowed me to be calm. When the second I heard bees, I would like full on panic. So that time didn't work. But the first time did work, and it still works. And if you say the actual triggers, it still works.
Small Splat says it's taught so he says here, okay, he brings up, have you guys heard of the human path thing, where you can put a human in the middle of an empty field and they will find a path or pattern and follow it? It's taught in level design, I guess, for like games, how you
Makes
can
sense.
subtly trick players into taking the path you want to take, even without road signs. I know like Valve does that kind of stuff a lot, and I've always thought it was super cool the way that they because there's so many times I've done things in Valve games where I'm like, man, I came up with that all by myself, and then I'm like, that doesn't make sense though. They can't have programmed free choice in this game. They wanted me to do that, and they tricked me into thinking I made that decision.
Well, so is the point then that there is actually a pattern, or that there's not, and people will
I
find
think
one?
there are patterns. They just do it really subtly, so you don't pick up on it consciously. You just kind of like.
I have noticed I do this pattern thing in like woods and stuff and hiking, and
Yeah.
I'm always wrong. It's never been helpful. It
Yeah, it doesn't mean
never
it's-
helps me do or get anywhere. It usually confuses the hell out of me.
It might be an evolutionary thing, because if you did find it's probably like a tracking thing, right? Like it seems like something that you would use to find the path of an animal maybe had taken before you,
Yeah.
which is probably beneficial because it leads you to water or food or something.
Yeah.
I assume that's where that comes from. And
Man,
that's
I
why
don't
that's
know.
helpful.
I consider myself to be one of the more susceptible people because I just believe it. It's not hard concepts for me to grasp. I think people's brains are so like malleable. I mean, think about trauma. You can like have an experience that is to someone else very minimal, but to you can be the greatest thing that ever, like not the greatest, but like the greatest trauma that has ever happened. You can be unaware it happened. It can stay dormant, and then it can come back up 5 to 10 years later.
Sure, that's
and then
accurate,
that's just
yeah.
a part of your existence
So
now.
most
And now you
therapy
have
is
to
for-
hunt your brain to go find what that event was.
Yeah.
I'm not speaking from personal experience or anything.
But yeah, no, that's
Like,
what
if
most
you think
therapy is for, is digging in and figuring out like what minuscule thing is still affecting your behavior today, and how do you know.
Or non-minuscule thing.
Yeah, I mean,
But
but
considering-
then sometimes it's obvious, I guess. But like,
Considering all the things brains do, just like I would argue, like non-consensually to yourself. Like you didn't agree for it to do it; it just happens. Things like repressed memories and that kind of stuff.
yeah,
It's
I did not agree to remember this.
yeah. I find it very easy to believe that you can just like change the way that a brain functions and trigger it with different responses. It's very. It just seems like. Duh.
Brains kind of want to run automatically, I think is what it is. Brains want to go the path of least resistance. And if you can insert a path of less resistance that also happens to, like, suit what you want someone to do, that's
Yeah.
sort of like, that's how manipulation tends to work. And this can be used harmfully, also.
Yeah, Grace actually said it, but it's a form of meditation trance that can work to a small degree, but only just by taking away / changing your expectations and putting you in a more suggestible state. So when I learned the way that hypnotism begins, like the way that it's supposed to happen, I did a lot of studying into the like basically the concept of like how you apply hypnotism to social interactions. Because I noticed that I had seen this before in other people that I had talked to.
Yeah.
And I was like, a bunch of things were clicking all at once. And it occurred to me that there was specifically a guy who I knew who did this all the time, who would like set me up for a social expectation of interaction. And then when I expected a certain interaction to occur, he would break that expectation and do something different.
Yeah.
And my brain would just sort of accept it as like the new situation that I was
Right.
in. until I identified that was happening, and then begin to strongly resent him for doing that and seeing him do it to other people because he was like playing people in his favor that I did not like.
Mental version of like in martial arts where you knock someone off balance first and then you hit them. It's like you put them in like a weird position and then you can sort of like manipulate them into. And I don't even think that guy at first knew that he was doing it. Is the weird thing.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are able to like do that kind of stuff accidentally because they were just kind of like they just learned to interact with people that way.
Yeah.
And they don't realize the effect it's having.
You think a lot of people do it on accident?
I do. I think a lot of people. I think I do. I think there are quite a few people that do it on accident. I think there's plenty of people who do it on purpose too.
Yeah.
Because that was specifically right. Like he was doing it on accident. You told him he was doing it in an attempt to. I don't think he was doing it on accident. Well, I don't think he was doing it on accident. You don't think so?
I thought originally he was, and then when I told him, it became more of a problem.
You don't think you just made him realize what it was he was doing, and then he was like, oh, okay, well, then now I'm going to do it even harder.
I think he learned that a specific thing that he did worked in his favor when he did it, but I don't think he identified it as, like, a specific tactic.
Yeah.
Like, I think he knew that if he did this, it worked well for getting friends or being in someone's favor.
I think there's a spectrum of intention on it, probably. I think there's some people who are completely doing it by accident, and then there's, like, politicians who are doing it 100% on purpose.
As an example, the first time I met this guy, I was new in a group of people I hadn't met before. My boyfriend was bringing me to his friend group, and he walks up to me, and he does, like, the whole, like, hey, I'm so-and-so, and I'm like, hey, and I reach to grab his hand, and he, like, takes it back. But I've literally never met this person, so it's such a weird thing to do with someone you've never met before.
And your brain goes, wait, what? And then, like, during that time, he says, like, we're gonna be best friends or something, and then, like, exactly throws something in there. And then it's like, it's just, like, little things that sort of, like, chip away at it, and then yeah.
Well, because essentially, the theory for what happens is when your brain, when the expected situation doesn't occur, your brain is in a state of searching for the next thing to do because it goes through the motions when doing different things.
Yeah.
And so as it's going through the motions, if that's broken and stopped, then at that moment, your brain is now looking for a solution to the sudden change of expectation. And you can imply something in there, you can put something into the expectation, and your brain will roll with it because it's immediately a solution that it was searching for. So if someone, like he did the whole handshake, then he broke it, and then he immediately said, like, we're gonna be best friends. And my brain was like, what? And then by the time I came back, like, all of the things had happened.
Yeah.
And I immediately favored him because, one, he was kind, and two, he had put me in a situation that threw me off guard and made me feel like he was someone who was seeking me out. Anyway, so that's the theory behind it.
Robert Kirchhoff says, I do this once in a while for jokes. I like turning social situations on their head for a laugh, but I try not to do that to manipulate. I actually, like, legit, this is like how comedy works too most of the time.
Yeah.
Like, this is why things are funny, is because you take a situation where somebody expects what's going to happen next, and then you remove that and throw something else in there, and that shock is, like, what makes you laugh, basically.
Yeah.
That's kind of like, that's more or less how that works.
I think Grace said this perfectly. If you gaslight someone long enough, you're essentially controlling their mind, and that's 100% true. This is why it's not that hard to believe for me. Like,
sure, yeah.
Plus, Darren Brown is also an illusionist and does, like, magic tricks and stuff.
Is he? Like, he does, like
he's
stage magic kind of stuff?
Kind of. He's the guy that, like, takes things off of people without them noticing.
Oh, right. He does the pickpocketing thing, too. Yeah. That's always been really interesting to me, is the misdirection thing.
Yeah, I've always thought it was super weird when people just, like, when I watch guys take watches off of people, that's always when I'm like...
That I don't get, because I don't know how I wouldn't feel that.
So I actually think that men are probably more susceptible to this because they're
we're not on the lookout for things.
Yeah, I don't think you guys are aware in the same way that women are of being touched.
Right. No, that makes sense in most cases.
Like, if a guy grabs your wrist, I don't know if you'd think about it nearly as much as a woman would, because I would immediately go into fight or flight.
I think in general you're completely right.
Yeah.
I think it's less, because men are less defensive. They have less reason to be defensive around people, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not sure I would. I think I would be thrown off by it more than I would be like on guard. Like if someone touched me, I'd be like, "What's happening? Why are you doing that?" More than I'd be like looking for a motive.
I think the idea behind it is that you don't actually feel it. He is distracting you enough with too many things that by the time, because like people don't react, and they would react. He puts his hands in people's jackets, and they don't react.
Somebody did this to me once.
A pickpocket?
I told, a homeless guy on the street did this to me once, but I just didn't have anything. He handed the thing that he took back to me, and was like, "This fell out of your coat," or whatever. And I was literally walking away going, "Oh, thank you." And then Ian was like, "He took that out of your coat," and I was like, "God damn it!" I was so mad that had worked.
Yeah, I think I have a very mild memory of someone attempting to pickpocket me, but I don't. You can't just touch me.
Right, because
I think the reason that
you've had enough people, like, be aggressive towards you that, like, you're on guard about it.
To be fair, Darren Brown, the reason he's so successful is he's engaging them in conversation and distracting their eyes somewhere else and, like, touching them in other places so that their attention is, like, if he's got his hand on their shoulder here, which he almost always
that's what
does,
it is. Yeah, you
then they're paying
distract
attention
them with
to this one.
Yeah.
And then he, like, takes their watch off. And I don't know, this has nothing to do with it, but just like being touched by strangers. I think I actually talked about this last time, but I can't remember. So, in restaurants, if you work in restaurants as a server,
you mentioned this before.
Did I mention it on the stream?
The back touch.
The back thing.
Yeah.
I highly recommend if you're ever like going anywhere, just like touch men on their lower back to like scoot by. It's the worst thing that's ever gonna happen to them. But I swear to God, they did it to 7 other women that day minimum. I can't stand it.
I don't touch people.
You don't touch people.
I don't touch people. I want people touching me.
So the reason that you do it is to like let them know that you're scooting by, so you don't just like charge into them. You were definitely the type who just like.
I do like.
No, you don't even. You will just wait. You're just gonna like stand.
No, that's true. More often, I would
space.
just stand and wait until the opening happens. We actually, we played the game last night. We played Cosmic Encounter last night, and there's a card in there that lets you, as long as you have the card in your hand, you can just steal cards off the table legally within the game rules, as long as no one notices and calls you out. And that's probably the best I've ever been at doing something like that, because I literally was just sitting there, and anytime all 4 of you had your attention somewhere else, I just grabbed the one off the top. Even if I didn't know what it was or didn't like it, I just picked it up. Because all your attention was somewhere else.
This happened twice in the game. My brother had it and then Kyle had it, and we knew that the card existed, and we still didn't know that was going to happen.
But see, I think your brother would be good at this, like, on the street, too. I have a suspicion that he would probably be pretty. I wouldn't. I don't believe for a second I would be good at this, but I think he'd be good at it.
Yeah. Anyway, I think this is the closest we'll ever get to, like, psychic abilities and magic, so I don't know what the fuck they were doing with giving people LSD every single day and torturing them. I feel like that wasn't necessary.
Well, the LSD might just make it even easier to suggest things, because then they don't know what's going on. So.
Well, they weren't actually trying to suggest things. They were trying to see if they could trigger some sort of part of the brain that would make them psychic or something.
True.
I feel like that's not the right way to do it. If someone is actually psychic, I feel like drugging them constantly is not the best way to do it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not qualified.
Neither are they, clearly. Like, I don't know how those people got put in charge. Yeah. Ricky just had filled shit all caps. That was the card that I had.
Yeah. Autumn says, I don't touch people unless we've already broken down the physical contact barrier. I wish more people were like that. I don't know what it is about old... Yeah, white. I don't know what it is about old white. No, it's not just white guys, actually. It's not just
watching Survivor, I've noticed y'all need to play more social deduction games. I think I've actually learned a lot of things from watching Survivor. Probably.
Are there more social deduction games?
Board game wise, I bet there are. If anybody has suggestions, feel free to throw those out.
Survivor is the best show ever. Not really, but it's really good.
Survivor is pretty amazing. I think I've gotten a whole Survivor rant on one of these episodes though, so I'm going to do that again.
My watch required pressing 2 buttons on the side to take off, though. Wonder how quickly that would work. I think that would work the quickest.
Depends if it
You'd
just
have to actually,
releases.
Unbuckle mine.
Yeah, it seems like that's always the ones that are confusing to me. Or like, because I've had a few of the quick release latch ones, and that I kind of get.
I'm pretty sure it's always those. I've never seen anyone just like.
Also, the one where you have to slip it around your hand seems difficult. Like if it's one where it just comes off, like I could see that working. Like this one, if you can undo this one, then it just. it just lifts. Well, see, I can't even do it on my own, so this is why I don't understand how that works. But this one will
never do it for this guy.
lift off my wrist. But some of them stay connected in a circle, and you have to work it around the person's hand to get off.
Yeah, most of them do.
That seems harder to me.
I don't know. So, I know this is the stupidest thing, and everyone's gonna get mad at me. Coronavirus. But when I was in...
Are you suggesting board games? I'm going to type them into Google real fast just so I can look them up later.
When I was in summer camp as a child, it went around that you could lick someone's elbow and they would never notice. And it's something about like...
Yes, I know, because you do this to me regularly.
I do it to you occasionally, and it's funny.
I notice occasionally. I don't know how many times you're doing it.
And so at summer camp, we all went around licking people's elbows in an attempt to see if they would notice. And they never fucking notice. And I think it's because you're never expecting anyone to lick your elbow. Because when you do know, you can feel it. When you're not paying attention, you don't feel it at all. You can actually even like pinch someone's elbow and they just won't fucking notice.
Yeah, I guess there's just not a lot of like nerves there, so if you're not specifically paying attention, it just doesn't register for some reason.
It's weird. I don't know if it's just like there's not a lot of nerves, or if we just don't trigger them off. Like you touch your elbow and you can friggin' tell. Like it's not.
I have heard you can train certain parts of your body to sort of like become more sensitive if they need to be.
I don't need that.
If you use it often enough.
As like a hypersensitive person, I used to have problems because people would like comfort me like this on my arm.
Yeah.
Or like this one. And it will literally trigger me so bad. I don't know what it is. It's painful.
You just get like shivers or something?
No, it's like painful. It like when you hit your funny bone kind of, and it like shoots angry nerves up your arm. Like if people like rub my arm or any part of my body over and over again like this.
Yeah.
I want to kill them.
That isn't particularly pleasant, actually. I don't know if it's because of the robe. But...
I get physically angry. Like I want to attack people who do that, and I've had like problems being like, you can't touch me like that. And they're like, oh, sorry, I was just trying to help. And I'm like, yeah, I don't. You literally cannot. I get like feral. I don't know what it is. I'm so mad.
You just bite them.
Somewhere. It hurts. I get angry like they just attacked me. I don't understand. Someone help. Did you forget our buy me a coffee password?
Yes. Trying to log in so that I can.
You obviously cannot copy and paste it.
Look away. Ooh.
I can't read chat. You've been gone for like 10 minutes. I have no idea what they're saying.
Pay attention when it's there. Angry nerves.
Angry nerves. Adam says LSD is just a go-to. They also give it to spiders and dolphins. Oh, I've seen them give it to spiders, and we saw what like their webs did.
Oh, right, because there's like spider webs on LSD.
Yeah. Poor Spideys. Ted Kaczynski? This sounds familiar. Is that not a character in a TV show?
What's the context?
Said Ted Kaczynski was a victim of MK Ultra, apparently.
Oh.
What is Ted Kaczynski?
I don't know, that does sound familiar.
Spiders making webs on different drugs is entertaining. That's what Grace says. Small Spot says, on the topic of touching people, I want hugging your friends to be way more socially acceptable and normal. If you're a woman, it's fine. You don't ever hug your friends, actually. I've never seen you hug your friends.
No.
Probably the only person I've seen you hug is John, but that's because John...
It's because I've gone, like, years at a time without seeing John.
I was gonna say, like, John weirdly does not contain that, like, toxic masculine trait of all things. I wonder if it's just, like, the army or something, but John is super cool around other men, for sure. Like, just isn't worried about it.
True.
I think that's pretty rad.
Maybe it's an army thing, yeah, I'm not sure.
Some men are just really worried about being gay or perceived as gay.
That's not why I don't hug. I'm just not used to it. I think is all it is.
I think that's fair.
I think
there's
again,
two big reasons.
It's one of the, as with everything, it's just something men are taught from an early age. It's just physical shows of affection are not something you're supposed to do.
Albert says, well, I mean, we can't lick our own elbows. How are we supposed to expect others to lick our own?
Aren't werewolves and secret Hitler social detection games?
Autumn says, we can't lick our own, so we must lick others. It was not a compelling thing. I was not compelled to do it. I just wanted to know if they would notice, and they didn't, and therefore I continued doing it because I was shocked at the results of the experiment. Oh, the Unabomber. The MK Ultra thing.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that also the theory for...
Oh, like he was one of the people experimented on before?
Isn't that the theory for the guy that shot JFK? Or the other...
Oh, I don't know. I haven't ever sorted through all those.
How? You have no interest in big conspiracy theories?
I don't know. I just got other stuff to do. I just haven't taken the time.
Guaranteed you fucking had nothing to do in high school.
That's true.
Okay. This is like your 7th temporary code. What is going on?
I'm just trying to log in.
Why are you doing it so poorly?
I keep forgetting and then it expires.
Hey.
Alright, here we go.
Oh my gosh, look at all this coffee!
Yeah, the name was, so we got from Gakera, Gakera. He sent $250. I'm not even sure how much coffee that is,
What
but...
a hero. Let's get a French press.
But yeah, thank you so much to Gakera. That will definitely go toward the show in some way. We haven't decided exactly how, but that all goes toward the show. If you wanna donate directly to the show, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/okay we're up, and we'll use some of that to buy a coffee, and the rest might go towards just improving the streaming setup. I guess that's a little bit like that's like a year's worth of coffee at that point.
Yeah.
Also, thank you to Daniel Warfel for getting us one.
You're
And
hero.
I think those are the latest ones as of 6 days ago. So thank you, guys. That's great. That's very seriously. That's freaking amazing. Thank you so much for donating $250 to this stupid show.
Autumn said, I met my friends are all too straight to hug. And it reminded me of one of the dumbest things I ever did, which we did talk about once. But my friend and I in middle school decided that we were going to do the ultra hug, which meant we were going to run at each other full speed across a gym and like jump into a hug.
I really hope this ends with you just slamming into each other and falling over.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. We ran straight into each other. Neither of us pulled back. This is why we were friends. We were committed. I was
No one chickened out.
Every single parent at my school hated me, and I know why. And so we like ran just like straight into it, and the thud that like echoed through the empty gym was horrific. There was like a crack in there, and we both fell down, and we just like groaned for like the next 10 minutes as like I attempted to feel like if my spine was intact.
I love picturing this.
It was awful, and like we both had different injuries from the way we hit each other. Like, I felt a lot of mine in, like, my neck and shoulder and back, and she felt, like, a ton of it in her chest. Like, she just, like, the wind was knocked out of her. We literally... And the teachers who were there did nothing. Because they knew. They were like,
teachers in the room?
Yeah. They were like, I'm just gonna let them... This is their consequence. There's nothing for me to do here. And we just laid on the ground.
What are they going to do worse to you than what you're about to do to yourself?
5 minutes. Like, I remember the pain. This was also the friend I used to have milk chugging contests with, and whoever won didn't throw up. It was usually her. I'm lactose intolerant. So. Yeah. Autumn says, sounds like Allison was the short one. That's true, actually. She was very tall. That's probably why she felt it in her chest, and I felt it in my arms and stuff. And both of us felt it in our back. We hit, and then it just, like, radiated through our body, and it was just, like, pain. Anyway, so that's not gay. You could hug like that.
You hug aggressively enough, it's not gay.
Yeah. How I Met Your Mother did something similar with a high five.
Is that just how hard? I've seen people do that in real life. Just how hard can you high five each other?
My dad used to be a little bitch and was like, "Hey, let's play a game." And I'm like, "Okay." And he was like, "We're gonna see who can slap the lightest." And I'm like, "Okay." And so you put your hand out like this.
Yeah.
Do it with your hand.
And then you would just do it really hard.
Yeah, it's who can slap the lightest, and I would be like, "Okay." And then he would go, wham! And just, like, slam me into the ground.
That seems like a dad thing.
It was the most dad thing ever. And I'm like, you lost. And he's like, yup. And then just walk away.
Did you ever do it back to him, though?
No, he already knew the joke. What was I gonna do? I had to go. See, that's the thing, is you take the abuse and you put it on another friend who's
You have to pass it along.
Yeah. No, I never did anything like that to my dad. I was never successful. He was such a prankster.
Such a prankster. Wow.
It never hurt me, by the way. This wasn't like actually abuse. He didn't just like hit me across the room. It was just like my hand. He would just hit it really hard. And it was just so that we could be sad that our dad lied to our faces directly. The mere trauma. Your dad didn't do anything like that to you?
No, I'm sure he did. I don't know. I think my dad was more about like the verbal jokes than the physical ones, though. My dad was never a prank person. He was always just the time for you to get a watch kind of guy, you know, like same jokes every time.
I think I've heard your dad say that to me. Princess says Allison is like 155 centimeters, right?
What? What is that measurement? What do you think? Who do you think we are?
He's from Kazakhstan or whatever it's called.
We're from Texas.
I'm 5 feet.
We're from Texas. We will never learn your language. You have to communicate to us in ours.
Isn't 5 feet 60 inches?
Yes.
Or 60 inches. What is centimeters to inches?
I don't know. I have no idea. I ain't a scientist.
What? Fine.
Maximum fist bump is the way to go. That sounds so painful.
You mean bloody knuckles?
I have 2 fingers that no longer bend all the way in, and I don't do anything. It's just happened now. That's like my first step of getting old, as I have 2 fingers that like I cannot pop without pain because I like bumped them against something at one point and jammed them forever. Doing like high-speed fist pump just sounds like ruining my hand for my entire life.
We also used to play this game. It was called Bloody Knuckles. And you would hit each other in the knuckles to see who quit first.
There was something I never realized.
And then we also played Mercy. Mercy was this one.
Is it just the one
no,
where you...
this hand. You do this.
Okay.
And then you would go like this, and then you would see who would cave. You like
just like wrist wrestle.
You don't reject it.
You don't?
No, you do. You flip it upside down. You do this, and you just like pull on the other person until someone caves.
Okay.
A lot of games are just like hurt your friends until someone cries and you win.
Kids are just so like malleable in rubber. Like I never realized when I was a kid how much damage resistance I had.
Yeah, because everything...
I would have gotten hurt more if I had known that was an option.
I did get hurt a lot. I did not skimp on that part of childhood. I made a point to hurt myself all the time.
Now I'm just trying to exercise to build up like a muscle layer to try and keep myself from getting hurt as long as possible in my old age.
I was such a boy, like boys would literally be like, want to play Bloody Knuckles? And I'm like, yeah. But then they'd be like, they would never play with any of my friends. They're like, that's a girl. To be fair, I tried very hard to be as boyish as possible.
That's true.
I did like the middle part and I pulled it back. Like it was like slicked back like this with the middle part, like alfalfa style, like the ponytail, and then I only wore my brother's clothes.
Oh, really? It says, yeah, Kyle, that's why dropping your kid is fine. Exactly.
What? Because they bounce. Is that the idea? I've heard that before. Well, we're 5 minutes out. If anybody has to push the button, throw it in, I guess. How was this show better now that you got to sleep in back to the like up until we did the show? Yeah, I think the reason that the show was able to work is because it was at night, because I had the worst time trying to sleep. I don't know what it was. Yeah, you had a bad night again? Yeah, could you tell?
You seem to be having trouble going to sleep.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I probably went to sleep at 2, but what's weird is I was in bed by like 8.
Yeah.
No, midnight. I was in bed at like midnight.
We were in bed late because of the game, but... Could you not do that, please? Why did you have to hit everything that you could in the path?
Yeah, I think 9 is better. I think 9 is going to work out better, because we don't have nearly as many people. I wonder if that's because it's later, because they didn't expect us to go today.
Matt said hi once and then disappeared.
Yeah, Matt shook my whole world when he said that he listened to these sometimes when he's like getting ready in the morning, and I was like, oh, you do not. Amazing.
Hey, get away. We gotta push the button from Autumn. It says, you become 7 feet tall, but you also bang your head on every door frame you go through.
So 7 feet tall.
That's a real one.
With a concussion. Do you have to bang your head, or are you just set up to bang your head?
I think based on people who are 7 feet tall, I think it's just what happens. I hit my head on stuff. I'm only 6 feet, and I still hit my head on stuff pretty regularly.
I don't know if I want to be 7 feet tall. I think 6'2".
That comes with like back problems, right?
6'2" would be the best. 6'2" would be the ideal height.
Just tall enough to be taller than everybody else, but not tall enough to to hit your head on things and have back problems.
Yeah.
Grace said, push the button, you regain kid malleability, but you have to participate in at least one weird kid game like discussed every day. Yeah, I'd do that. I'd do it.
One weird kid. Yeah.
I think that's worth it.
Like Bloody Knuckles? You'd play Bloody Knuckles with
I
me?
played Bloody Knuckles every day in order to have the...
No one ever made it to Bloody Knuckles, by the way. It hurts really bad to just like slam your knuckles against somebody else.
That's true.
The key is to be the one who hits. Not the one who is hit, because you do like this. I literally can't even force myself to do it, like, because I know how bad the pain is.
Also from Grace, the U.S. changes to the metric system, but you have to learn the metric system. I think I would do that. I think that probably would be the for the good of
it wouldn't be helpful
here
here in Texas.
Why? What do you mean?
Learning, like, we have it bad here. If we did it good, then we wouldn't know how to do it the bad way.
I didn't follow anything you just said.
It's not a big deal.
You're saying the entire U.S. adopts the metric system as a result of accepting that.
Okay, yeah, that would be much better.
Yeah.
I can't read anymore.
We got one more from Robert Kirchhoff. Says, push the button and you get to push the button again. You don't get anything, you just have to keep hitting the button harder and harder. Whoever hits it hardest wins.
I would 100% do this. Just an excuse to beat the crap out of a plastic thing until I win. What?
Alright, well thanks for those push the buttons.
Come here.
We technically got 5 minutes left in the show.
Nah, we can leave.
Should we just leave? Should we just go?
We can go.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to be back tomorrow morning at 9. And I guess if that works out over the weekend, I'll change all our graphics and the information on the channel to reflect the new schedule. Because I think it still says Monday through Thursday at 8. But that's no longer true. So yeah. Thanks. What else are we gonna do this month?
What?
Let's just actually real fast, using this last couple minutes, go to the Discord. If you haven't been to the Discord yet, there's a link. It's a public Discord. There's a link in the description of this video. Go to the OK We're Up channel and suggest Christmas activities we could do on the show, and we'll take those and we'll incorporate them into episodes. We could get an advent calendar off Amazon and just go through an entire advent calendar in one day. I think that'd be fun. There's also probably some other stuff we could do. So leave your suggestions in the comments of this video work, and then also in the Discord, and we'll go through those and we'll make a plan for the rest of the month.
I want spicy fried rice like no one's business.
Well, let's figure out what to do about that.
He's trying to. He's cold. Kyle.
How do I? Oh
Kyle,
no, I'm not connected to the internet.
He's
What?
cold.
Oh. Oh no. Oh no. We'll take him out in just a minute. I can't end the show. My remote connection to the streaming computer ended.
Oh no!
There we go. All right, we're leaving. Bye.
Bye.
Have a good day.